Hello, good evening, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. It's about after 7 p.m. at evening, and I am in Nairobi, Kenya. Today, I just thought that I would come and speak to you about the cultural shocks that I would have experienced in Africa. Now, my friends, for those of you watching from in Africa, and you may wonder, who is this person here? My name is Bjorn, and my channel is called Bjorn in Africa, because this is my first time in Africa, and I'm from a small Caribbean island called St. Kitts and Nevis, which is located in the Eastern Caribbean, just south of Miami, in between those little islands. If you look on the map, you will find us, St. Kitts and Nevis, my friends. So make sure to subscribe to this channel, like it and share it. Like this video and share it with all your friends and family, and make sure to watch all the ads so that YouTube will give me a little support, a little couple cents here and there that will add up so that I would have some funds to buy some food and living expenses, my friends. So thank you for watching the ads. Just let them run, and you can go out and do whatever you have to do, and then come back. It's just, ads are just like a minute long. So just watch them, and by watching the ads, you will support me. So my friends, the first cultural shock was education. And while I arrived in Nairobi, Kenya, I could see that educational system was different, because I remember one morning I got up early, and it was like after 6 in the morning, and I was walking on the road, and I saw, to my surprise, I saw students going to school, and the school was right there. So the students were entering the school at like after 6:30, 7 o'clock at morning. And I'm like, wow, boy, this is early, because at home, where I'm from, that doesn't happen. At home is just around 8 o'clock. You find students start to go into the school. And another shock was that in education, when I traveled to Uganda, I noticed that there was a number of boarding schools, which means students live in the schools there, the secondary and primary school there, some of them. And I remember one weekend I went to a school just to see how it was like. I say I'm gonna go and then maybe come back when it's open during the week. So when I went on the weekend, I noticed the school was like going on, like in operation. So the principal and so was there, and so on. They say, well, then normally it's a boarding school and they have lessons on Saturday. So I saw students there washing clothes, they're cleaning the floor, some is there sitting down in the classroom studying, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. This doesn't happen in the where I'm from, in St. Kitts and Nevis. On weekends, the schools are closed. So in Africa, I realize they take education very, very, very serious. In Africa, education is taken very seriously, and I don't know. That's a positive, I guess. Over education could be a negative as well. I don't know if there's a word for over education, mean burnout. Like if a teacher explained to me that some of the students are burnt out, they do too much studies, and that could affect them as well. So let me know in the comment section, do you think which style is the best? Like the boarding school and the students going to school on weekends and cleaning and all of that? Or do you like the Caribbean style where school are just open on weekdays, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to like 3 p.m. and that's it. Let me know which one you prefer. Another cultural shock I experienced in Africa so far. I've been in 2 countries, 3 countries, but spent time in 2 countries, and I noticed that religion in Africa is taken very, very seriously. I remember I was staying at a hotel, and they had like I think a church was close, was in the compound, and every morning I could hear the singing and the praying, and um, the excitement, the passion in which people worship in Africa is on another level. You could see that nobody's forcing them to do it. The passion. I went to church several times, and I see the number of young people in church singing and dancing and having a good time. They have tremendous passion there. Normally at home in the Caribbean, you have to force young people to come to church. But in Africa, they're out in their numbers in church. Young people, when I'm saying young, teenage to 20s to 30s, a lot of them. Like I went to a church and it was all young people there. I didn't see one elderly person there. So that was another cultural shock. The religion is taken very seriously. All ages, from very small. They had I went to church. They had children's church. The children are there singing and praying and so with passion. So from cradle to grave, religion in Africa is very powerful indeed. Another thing that shocked me is the street vendors. The amount of street vendors I saw in Kenya and Uganda, especially in Uganda, was mind-boggling. I could drive for like 30 minutes in Uganda, and on both sides of the road, you would see street vendors selling food, selling fruits, vegetables, everything you could find. They're selling on the road. The entrepreneurs are out in their numbers. They're selling even coffins. In Uganda, I saw coffin being sold at the side of the road. They're selling it. Beds are being sold at the side of the road. Anything you could find, people are out there selling. And that's a big difference to where I'm from in the Caribbean. In St. Kitts-Nevis, we don't have that much street vending. We have more shops. Like you have to go into a store to get what you want, and you have the small amount of street vendors which are there compared to what I have seen in Africa so far. Another thing that shocked me here in Africa is the language. I found it amazing, especially in Kenya, that the ease in which the people speak like 3, 4 different languages, and they're mixing all the language together. Like they would be talking English and then they would switch to Swahili and switch to something else, all in one sentence. And I find that extremely amazing, because coming from the Caribbean, we talk like 2 languages, I would say. Street dialect, like local language, and like proper English, and that's it. But here, they would speak completely different languages, mixed up, all mixed up, and they would do it with ease and comfort. So Africans are very talented when it comes to language. I think they're the best in the world when it comes to language. The average person here speaks 5 languages, and that's normal to them. English is like the third and fourth language, and they speak English very fluently, especially here in Kenya, in Uganda as well, but Kenya is a little bit better with English, I found. Food. Now, the food in Africa is very clean. You have meat, chicken being sold on the road. meat shop, fruits, vegetables. People are cooking on the side of the road. You don't have to go far to find food, and the food is very affordable. I remember in Uganda, I spent like less than like around $5 for a big breakfast with bananas, meat, eggs, coffee, fruits for less than five Eastern Caribbean dollars I'm talking about. And that's about maybe $2 or less than $2. And I found that very affordable. Another thing I found in Africa is that another cultural shock is that the people don't know anything about the Caribbean. And I find that fascinating. I feel like I don't exist. I'm in Africa right now, and right now I feel like I don't exist because most people who I talk to, they don't have a clue about the Caribbean and Africa. They haven't been taught. Nobody told them about it. There's no Caribbean presence here in Africa. There's nothing. The people actually would think I'm from America, Canada, the UK. Some said South Africa. Some say West Africa, Ghana, Nigeria. Some say Germany, France. All kind of names they call him, but never the Caribbean. That's not even in their mind. So that's another cultural shock that I would have experienced here in Africa. Nobody knows anything about the Caribbean. Imagine that. I don't even exist. Another thing is the family size. Family size are big. There's a lot of family here, and they're big and they're out in their numbers. You could see the presence of family here in Africa. I remember when I came in from London, and as soon as I came into the airport in Ethiopia, I could see like families of 8, 9, 10, 11 of them, small children, family like going traveling together, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Um, I would have I wouldn't, you don't see that much in the Caribbean where you have families, father, mother, children together. And I find that very good. It's a very good thing. And the family structure is very strong here in Africa. Another thing I found shocking is that I remember growing up, people would say that Africa is hot. Africa is hot, and it's very hot in Africa, and so desert conditions and so. And I would see that in Africa right now, where I'm at in Nairobi, Kenya, the weather is like 70, 75 degrees Celsius, like very cool and calm. The weather is very cool. I could um, walk to the gym in my sweater and I'm not sweating, and I don't feel hot. Very cool. It's not cold. It's not hot. It's in between, and it's very pleasant. And I am told the weather stays like this almost all year round. Get a little hotter, get a little cooler, but it doesn't get changed much, which I found very fascinating. I never thought the weather here in Africa would be this cool, something like a European or American springtime or autumn time. Very pleasant weather here, and you could see the trees are growing tall, the grass are green, flowers are growing. There's no pests. You don't see any insects, much insect pests and so around. I think the weather is ideal for growing crops, because I know that Kenya, for example, export roses to Europe. Roses to Europe, flowers they export to Europe, and for flowers and roses to grow out in the field like that, the weather has to be perfect. So the weather was shocking. Another thing that was shocking to me was the calmness and the friendliness of the people. I remember when I first came through Ethiopia, I could sense the calmness, my friends. The place was nice and calm. The people are soft spoken, they are calm, they are humble, down to earth, very friendly. And I say I like this. Even in Kenya, which is an advanced East African country, it's the people are very calm and friendly, and I found that very appealing. So great, keep it up. The people are good, friendly, calm, peaceful, very peaceful. And the final thing I want to speak about is that uh, in Africa, there's different classes. You could have the very rich and you could have the very poor. And that was a cultural shock to me, because in the Caribbean, it's not really like that. The island where I'm from, you could have people with money, but people who don't have money, but all the children go to the same school. The children go to the same church. The children play together maybe in the same villages, and so it's not really that different. But in Africa, you could be wealthy and you stay in your wealthy area, which is massive. You never go to a poor area. Or you could be poor and you stay in your poor area and never go out of that area. So you have the very poor and very rich, and some people are in between. So it's very easy for somebody to come to Africa and take all videos of poverty, like the Europeans and Americans would do, because the areas that has poverty is vast. It's a big area, so you could just cover all of that and say this is Africa, and people would think that that is Africa. But you could be in a nice area and you travel 30 minutes from that area and you're in a massive area with poverty. They are very poor people. So, and then you could go to the city, which is very modern, like America or Europe, any European or American city. So, and then right next to the city, like 20 minutes from the city, you could have people living in abject poverty. So it's different. You could get, what I realize is that you could get everything that you're looking for in Africa. So it depends on what you're looking for. And this channel aims to bring your balanced view of life here in Africa. And that is why I am here. I am coming from a small island called St. Kitts-Nevis. It's in the Caribbean. It's south of Jamaica, south of Miami, north of Barbados and Trinidad. So you look between, you see the islands that are between Trinidad and Barbados and Miami. You're going to see a line of islands between there. In the Eastern Caribbean, you Google us and you'll find us there. Make sure to zoom your map in, because we're very small but advanced islands. The islands are doing great things. So make sure to look for us, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. I want you to visit St. Kitts-Nevis and the Caribbean, but I also want you to subscribe to my channel and share it with all your friends and family. And it was great talking to you tonight, and to have a good night's rest, and I'll see you again in the next video. This is Bjorn, and I'm in Africa. The name of my channel is Bjorn in Africa. Signing out. Much love. Bye-bye.